One innocent walk through the forest, one voice that sounded so kind, and one mistake that changed everything. This is the story of Little Red Riding Hood, a tale that has been told for centuries to warn us that not every friendly face is a safe one. It's a story about innocence, deception, and the chilling truth that can hide behind a sweet smile. Our story begins with a young girl, loved by everyone who knew her, but especially by her grandmother. Her grandmother had made her a beautiful little cloak of red velvet, and it suited her so well that she would wear nothing else. And so, everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother called her and said, "Come, Little Red Riding Hood. Here is a piece of cake and a bottle of wine. Take them to your grandmother. She is ill and weak, and they will do her good. Set out before it gets hot, and when you are going, walk nicely and quietly, and do not run off the path." Little Red Riding Hood promised to take great care and set off. Her grandmother lived out in the woods, a good half-hour from the village. As she entered the forest, the world around her seemed to change. The familiar bird songs faded, and the forest grew unusually quiet. The shadows of the tall trees stretched longer and darker than they should, twisting into strange shapes on the forest floor. An eerie silence hung in the air, as if the entire woods was holding its breath, watching her. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, made her heart beat a little faster. She felt a prickle of unease, a sense that she was not alone. Just as her anxiety began to peak, a figure emerged from the trees. It was a wolf. But this wasn't just any wolf. He didn't snarl or show his teeth. Instead, he approached her with a smooth, charming demeanor. "Good day, Little Red Riding Hood," he said, his voice like honey. She, not knowing what a wicked creature he was not at all afraid. "Where are you going so early?" he asked, his eyes gleaming with a cunning curiosity. He listened intently as she explained her journey to her sick grandmother's house, his mind already spinning a wicked plan. The wolf, seeing her innocence, saw his opportunity. "Look, Little Red Riding Hood," he said in his silkiest voice. "See the pretty flowers that are growing all around? Why don't you look around you? The birds are singing so sweetly. You walk along as if you were going to school, while everything else in the woods is so beautiful." He painted a picture of a magical, sun-dappled meadow just a few steps away. He convinced her that her grandmother would be so pleased with a fresh bouquet. Believing his kind words, Little Red Riding Hood strayed from the safety of the path, her red cloak a bright beacon as she disappeared among the trees, completely unaware of the danger she was now in. While she was happily picking flowers, farther and farther from the path, the wolf didn't waste a second. He raced ahead, his paws pounding the soft earth, taking the direct route to the grandmother's house. He arrived at the cottage, knocked on the door, and when the grandmother asked who was there, he disguised his voice to sound like Little Red Riding Hood. The unsuspecting grandmother told him to lift the latch and come in. The wolf sprang inside, and without a single word, went straight to the grandmother's bed and swallowed her whole. Then, he put on her clothes, drew the curtains, and lay down in the bed, waiting. When Little Red Riding Hood finally arrived, her arms full of flowers, she found the door wide open. A strange feeling of dread washed over her. It was so quiet inside. She cautiously walked to the bed. Her grandmother looked so strange. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what big ears you have. The better to hear you with, my dear." "But grandmother, what big eyes you have. The better to see you with, my dear." "But grandmother, what large hands you have. The better to hug you with." "Oh, but grandmother, what a terribly big mouth you have. The better to eat you with." And with that, the wolf leaped from the bed and swallowed poor Little Red Riding Hood. But the story doesn't end there. A brave woodsman happened to be passing by the house and heard the terrible snoring coming from inside. Thinking the old woman might be in trouble, he went in. Seeing the wolf lying there, he knew immediately what had happened. He raised his axe, and with one swift action, he cut open the sleeping wolf. Out popped Little Red Riding Hood, and then her grandmother, both alive and well. The forest returned to its peaceful silence, but Little Red Riding Hood was changed forever. She had learned a powerful lesson: never talk to strangers, and never, ever leave the safe path. Not everyone who speaks sweetly has good intentions. It is wisdom and caution that truly protect our innocence. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this classic tale with a twist, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that make you think.